Hello, friends from around the world. We're here with Josh and Hanifa from Fireside, the Psychedelic Support Line. Oh my goodness, what an amazing project that these two have launched to the world to help everyone out. Josh and Hanifa, could you please, first of all, introduce yourselves briefly to our community?
All right, Hanifa, you want to go first?
Sure, thank you. So hey everyone out there, happy now. My name is Hanifa Nayo, Washington. I currently live on Quinnipiac land here in New Haven, Connecticut, on the East Coast of the US. And I am a lover of all things. I'm a sacred activist. I believe in healing work coming first, have a deep reverence for community and as well as the wisdom and kinship of plant medicine. And I am one of the co-founders of One Village Healing. Whoops, I am. I am a co-founder of One Village Healing, but that's not what we're talking about. Anyway, I think you're gonna have to edit that. But in any case, I'm also a co-founder of Fireside Project, and I reside as the cultivator of beloved community, really looking at how we be together, how we hold space for each other, and how we tell our story. And so that's a little bit about me. What about you, Josh?
That was beautiful, Hanifa. So I'm Josh White, another co-founder of Fireside Project. We also have two other co-founders who are not here with us today, Adam Rubin, who's our support line director, and Nikolai Lawson, who helps us with technology. And so let's see, I'm coming to you from San Francisco, California, Ohlone land. And let's see, what can I say about myself? I would say that plant medicine has saved me. It has made me a more loving person, a more authentic person, and a braver person, I think, in this world, braver to be the person who I actually am. And so it took me 17 years of being a lawyer to realize that I wanted to devote my life to psychedelics and to helping everyone have the most beautiful and healing and safe psychedelic experiences that they can possibly have. And so I see Fireside Project as this love letter to the whole world, and with really the goal of making sure that no one ever has to feel alone with a psychedelic experience ever again.
Oh, wow, beautiful. I'm feeling really grateful to be talking with you two. Hanifa, could you please explain to us what is this Psychedelic Peer Support Line?
That's a great question. So the Psychedelic Peer Support Line is a beautiful, beautiful, and I love how you put that, Josh, this love letter. And it's a part of that love letter. And so Fireside Project is operating and organizing and holding the Psychedelic Peer Support Line. It's one of the things that we do. The line launched and went live on April 14th this year. And it is a peer support line, meaning that it's run by volunteers. So we have about 40 volunteers now who have committed to 1 year of service on the line. They work a 4-hour shift each week and come to a community meeting and provide callers or people who are texting in with peer support. So we are holding people and walking with them and meeting them where they're at in their journey. So we are supporting folks who are actively tripping. We are supporting folks who might be trip sitting someone else, someone that might need support. And we're also offering support for anybody who's processing a past trip, or whether that was a year ago or 10 years ago or last night. So it's a really dynamic support. It's a really dynamic service that is normalizing psychedelics, that is making the opportunity for psychedelic experiences to be as little risk as possible. So we're reducing the risk and also raising the potential of every psychedelic experience. And it's really, really beautiful. You know, when we launched the line, Adam Rubin and Josh and myself were the first to do a shift So, and it was really amazing because we actually were able to be together physically. And when those first calls came in, it was this switch. So the world went from all these people in the world having these experiences, maybe needing support and holding and witnessing, and not having that, to 1 second, it was there. And this, I see it as this beautiful net that will not let anyone drop and fall and be forgotten. And so we are in our first year. We're two months into running the line. And this year is really a pilot year. We're testing out what's working, what needs tweaking, with the goal of eventually in time being 24/7, and also opening and being available across the world. But as of now, we are serving folks in the US, soon to be folks in Canada, which is very exciting. Open from Thursday to Sunday from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. PST. So, and then on Mondays from 3 to 7 PST. So that's a little bit about what the support line is. Josh, did you want to add anything else to
I think you covered it beautifully. Thank you.
Well, we're going to be sure to put in all the information about what is the number, what are the times that you're operating, and everything to accompany this video.
Cool.
And I love that the support is available to people in preparation for a trip, during the trip, after the trip. And that's really beautiful that you're offering that service. Josh, I'm curious.
David, can I just hop in and make one quick
yeah,
correction? Sure. So at the moment, we do not provide support before a trip.
Okay.
Just because of the current legal landscape, we felt like it was the safest option for our volunteers, not to put them in the situation where there's a concern about encouraging conduct that is, for the moment, still unlawful. So we support people who are tripping and also who are integrating, but not people beforehand. But all of that said, we do have some amazing materials that our co-founder Adam Rubin wrote that are available on our website. And we really do see education as a core part of risk reduction. And we are going to be developing some really exciting educational offerings in the future to help people prepare for trips and trips it for others.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. Josh, so how does it work? Like, if a person is very agitated and scared and they call you, what would that conversation look like?
Sure. So really on the support line, it's about meeting you where you are. Whatever you are experiencing, we'll meet you right there. And so each person will, when they reach out to us, the first person they speak to is what we call a connector. And that connector's job is to pair the caller or the texter with a volunteer. And the reason that we do that is because we want to make sure that if someone is in a crisis, that they really, that they never have to be on hold. And so then, after the connector pairs you with a volunteer, really the volunteer wants to just help you wherever you are. So maybe the volunteer will ask you, some questions about what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, making sure that you're safe. And then we have no agenda beyond that. Of course, we want to make sure that you're safe, but we are not guiding anyone towards any destination. We have no goal at all other than to provide compassionate support to people and really just be Ram Dass has this wonderful phrase called a loving rock. And so we really just want to be loving rocks for people wherever they are in their experience.
Oh, I love that. Hanifa, I'm curious, what kind of people, or what kind of experience does it take to be a volunteer, or what kind of people do you look for to work with? Yeah,
that's an awesome question. When we were first thinking about that, we wrote a whole application process, and a lot of the questions were wanting us to ask people, like, how do they find their center? What does mindfulness mean to them? How do they work on removing ego? you know. So a lot of our practices on the line are really about, as we keep saying a thing, it's just like, we are not guiding, right? We're meeting people where they are. We do a lot of reflective listening, reflecting back to folks. So when we were very surprised when we put the call out there for people to apply to be volunteers. I think our first round of folks, I think we had like over 200 applications that came in for what ultimately ended up being these initial 40 slots. And so we are a community-based organization. So everything we do is like in community. So from our interview process, it's a group interview, to our training process. The initial process was a 36-hour training that all of our initial volunteers went through, and it was on Zoom. So we, in terms of like requirements, one of them is just being able to commit, right, to a 1 year, time span to be able to work 4 hours a week, and to commit to the other time that we need folks to be on the line. We have a 1 hour community meeting, time to do the training. And then there's really this commitment to, I can put aside whatever my other credentials are. So whether I'm this kind of student, a PhD, this type of philosopher, or love this music or whatever, is that we ask people to really put these things to the side and show up as a peer, someone who understands what it is like to have had, being in altered mind states, people who understand what it means to feel untethered and to know what support and grounding can look and feel like, and are committed to doing that. So we don't say, okay, you've had to have these many trips and you've had to take everything and know everything about every psychedelic ever. But we do, really encourage our volunteers to really come at this as peers, people who have had their own experiences, people who understand the importance of sorry, I'm kind of going off, but the importance of being non-biased and not wanting to fix people, and not wanting to be like the guru, right? But really the holder. And it feels like a very simple thing to do. And it actually takes a lot of practice, because we are acculturated to it's about authority, it's about hierarchy, it's about control. And so the way we hold space with folks and welcome people in is really an open process, which takes some practice in unlocking. And so, we are looking for folks who know how to listen, who value empathy, right? And understand the importance of all people. Yeah. Joshua, would you add anything else to that? Because I feel like
Yeah, that was beautiful. It was a pleasure to listen to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Josh, I'd like to ask you one last question here. Have you all had any success stories so far?
Yay.
I love that. I love that question. I think we have. So in our first 2 months, we've had about 400 conversations so far. And it's been about an equal balance of conversations by text and conversations by phone. And I think that, there's a lot of ways to judge success. One way to judge success would be like, well, if a person truly was in a crisis when they reached out to us and they were thinking about going to the emergency room and they were thinking about calling 911, did they actually end up going? And so we've had 26 people who have told us in our post-call surveys that they would have gone to the ER or called 911. We've had 100 people tell us that we de-escalated them from psychological distress. We've had about 50 people tell us that they would have been physically or emotionally harmed, but for their conversation with Fireside Project. But so for me, that question really kind of gets back to what is our mission, right? Our mission is to help people minimize the risks and fulfill the potential of their psychedelic experiences. And so I think we've had a lot of success on the minimizing the risks, but then also on fulfilling the potential of psychedelic experiences. And I think that can take a lot of different forms. for example, sometimes the conversations that we have, whether by phone or by text, are just really short. I once had a conversation with someone where they just reached out and said, like, "Are you there? I'm tripping." And we just said, "Yes, we're here. We're here for you if you need us." And that was the end of the conversation. And then the next morning, we got a follow-up message from them saying, "You have no idea how valuable it was just to know that someone's there," right? Because loneliness is a feeling, and that feeling can be taken away if you know that there is a loving, compassionate person who is waiting for and would be honored to provide you with support. And then we've had longer conversations, so many of them. And it's just, I think, I come back to like the community circles that we have every week where people can share some of the conversations that they've had. And then also after calls, we'll kind of have these group calls on Discord where we debrief together. And volunteers are just like shaking with gratitude. I mean, at just how powerful it is to support someone. I had a conversation with someone just this past weekend who called from an ayahuasca circle and was having some challenges with the person who was supposed to be holding space for them. And so the catharsis that I think could have happened with the facilitator there ended up happening on the phone with me. And it was so crazy. I actually, ayahuasca has saved me more than any other medicine. And I actually, even though I was of course not tripping, I actually felt the medicine coming through the phone and embracing me. And I knew that like I had been brought together with this person by the medicine to support them. And it was just an earth-shatteringly beautiful experience for me. And we received a very nice note from the person the next day. So that's one story of hundreds in 2 months only.
So beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Can I share? I just pulled up, we have folks also send in testimonials of like their experience, and there's one that I just love. I'd love to just read it if that's okay.
Yeah.
And so of course this is all anonymous. We don't know the people's names, but they have given us permission to share their testimonial. So it says, "I reached out to Fireside to help me process what had been a very intense and confusing psychedelic experience the week before. The person speaking to me reassured me that what I had experienced was normal and provided a lot of perspective and anecdotal experience sharing to help me grapple with my own experiences in a relatable way. I felt much better after our call, and I appreciated all the empathy exhibited by Fireside Project. I came out with a much greater appreciation of my own experience and for psychedelics." I just love, I love that we are able to be in contact with folks after their experiences, and that people are sending back like some of the real impact, the real life impact by this project and by our volunteers and by this service. So just much love for everybody.
And that's just the ones you hear from. Of course, the real impact is impossible to measure, and how it impacts the families of these people and everything. So, and it's also hard to see who benefits more, the person receiving the help or the person giving the help, because it seems like a real beautiful win-win exchange that happens. So I'm really delighted to meet you two, to hear more about this, and we're excited at Thank You Plant Medicine to ally and to support you guys however we can. So thanks for your time today. Thanks for your amazing work. And I encourage everyone to put this number in a easy to access location, because it can really help you.
We'll be coming out with an app soon too that you can download, so you can see our logo on your phone screen all the time.
I love that.
And thank you so much, David. I think that one of the many things that unites Fireside and Thank You Plant Medicine is gratitude. I know that Thank You Plant Medicine is just radiates gratitude for these medicines. And I feel like each moment with Fireside is a moment of gratitude for the medicine, for the community, and just for the universe. So it's nice to meet another organization that is that is animated by and serves gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And our missions are aligned on so many levels because we're dedicated to destigmatizing these medicines and responsibly integrating them into society. And that's exactly what you guys are doing by mitigating the risk and giving people a helping hand when they need it and getting people out of the emergency rooms and just onto the support line. So thanks for your work and look forward to being involved in a dance of supporting each other in the coming years.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, David. This was an honor.